When we measured the industry here in 2015, it was 2.6 billion with a B for our county. And that was 8 years ago. And that was before they built World Equestrian Center, which is the finest equestrian center in the world. So we can only imagine it's probably 5 billion a year now for this area. So when we remeasure that next year, we should have some really big numbers to give you, and we'll check back in with you and tell you about the billions. But it's important that we keep this next generation learning about horses and learning about the different jobs that may be available to them when they graduate from high school.
So we have an awesome guest who's going to tell us some more about that. But before we jump into that, I think that's enough horsing around here. We better get into it. So for our listeners, here is the question. Most people have some familiarity with horses, but have you ever wondered about where the horse capital of the world is and what exactly takes place in the horse capital of the world? Well, I answered the first one for you. That's Ocala, Florida, but we're going to find out what exactly goes on there. And stay tuned because it is a lot of fun. So with that, we'll introduce our guest. We're pleased to be joined today by none other than the Brit on the Bit, Louisa Barton. She is the host and executive producer of the Horse Talk Show based out of Ocala, Florida. And I've heard that she has a cult following, if you know what I mean.
I like it.
Thank you.
Saddle up, partner. Let's do this.
So, Louisa, could you tell me a little bit more about just Ocala? I know Ocala is the horse capital of the world, and that is where you reside. Could you just tell me more about what it's like living there, the community, and how it interacts with horses and that whole thing?
Certainly, yes. So we are officially trademarked horse capital of the world, and we do have 62 breeds of horses that we know about in this area, and a very far-reaching area. And we do actually have more horses per square mile than anywhere else in the world. We did actually trademark that title back in the beginning of the 2000s, and we definitely earned it. We have an array, variety of different disciplines that call it home. We have some amazing racing farms that train horses from weanlings, from yearlings rather, to 2-year-olds. Many that breed thoroughbred race horses, raise weanlings. We also have a huge show jumping population, dressage, eventing. We have all the Western disciplines here. We have a number of incredible venues across the county that are homes to a variety of different sports, everything from driving to show jumping and more. It's an incredible area to live in because there is something horse-related going on almost every day of the week that you can attend. Wonderful, welcoming venues, even if you're not a horse person, that you can actually go and watch horse sports with no admission fee at all. It's really, it's an incredible place. The countryside is beautiful, rolling hills, oak trees, lots of beautiful foals running around in the fields in the spring. And it's definitely what drew me here. My full-time job is for the Chamber and Economic Partnership. I am the director of the Equine Initiative here. And as far as we know, there is no other chamber in the world that has an equine initiative. So we think it's pretty exciting. And we've got wonderful, wonderful sponsors. A shameless plug for Larson Hay right here. For a big reason I connected with you last year because they were so supportive after Ian, a terrible storm that went through here in South Florida. And Mr. Larson is one of a kind. Best hay person, hay man, hay owner in the world, and not just selling the finest hay, but I mean really no plug there, true fact. The finest hay that horses can get, but also what a guy that jumped in and donated so much hay so that Betsy and I could, you know, ride up and down the interstate after the hurricane and deliver it to people in need who were literally stranded with, you know, feed and hay gone, wet, soaked and ruined, and horses standing there that couldn't be turned out in paddocks because their fences were gone and they hadn't have anything to feed their horses. And when you're in a situation like that, you really want somebody to show up, you know, and Larson Hay really showed up. So that's how I connected with you guys in the first place and was able to share that wonderful story with you about everything that they did. And they have been a partner with me on the Horse Talk Show for many, many years. And I am proud to be able to say that I'm partnered with Mr. Larson and the team at Larson Hay, because there's no better folks in the whole world.
Okay, on the topic of different, I think you mentioned a breed parade. There's, I think you said 60 different breeds just in your county. Each one of them is bred for specific events. Around here in the West, we have quarter horses. Quarter horses are kind of the bread and butter of every cattle ranch. You got to have a quarter horse. What horse do you love? Like, which breed is your favorite?
So behind me, I think you can see a picture of a horse. His name is Sunny Sundance. He was with me for 29 years. Incredible amount of time, love of my life, and I lost him a couple of years ago, sadly. When I fell in love with him 31 years ago, someone told me he was a Tennessee Walker, but I was from England and all I knew about was thoroughbreds and warm bloods. And actually, I don't think I'd even seen a quarter horse in England. Gypsy Vanners, of course, I had seen some of those, Shetland ponies and Welsh ponies, but that was about it. All the other breeds I had really not even ever had any experience with. So they told me he was a Tennessee Walker and he had a special gait, and he was the most comfortable horse I ever rode in my whole entire life. We probably rode hundreds of thousands of miles together and down the beach and through the trails, and he was an amazing, amazing horse, and he was a Tennessee Walker. So I guess I'd have to say my favorite breed is Tennessee Walker, because I never owned a horse like him in my life.
Louisa, final question. On the Dirt Road Discussion podcast, we like to look down the road. What do you see as the future of the horse industry there in the horse capital?
It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And honestly, I don't think it's got any choice, because we really do offer a temperate climate and a wonderful place to raise horses, to compete with the venues that we have, with the opportunity we now have to share horses with all age groups growing up in the school systems. I feel like all it's going to do is grow. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and better. And I think we're very blessed and fortunate to live in such a wonderful area, and so thankful for all of our partners and sponsors that help make it all possible, so that we can keep on horsing around as much as possible.
With that, we'll wrap up another episode of Dirt Road Discussions, and we'll see you down the road.